Welcome back, friends. And over here now, that part, I'm gonna start immediately by getting rid of the first statement here. So I'm gonna have to delete this, and so don't go ahead deleting the main function, because the main function is very important to the Dutch programming language. So let's go ahead defining a variable first. So I'm gonna say var, then I'm gonna say name equal to Nelson, name equal to Nelson. So here right now you can see this is a name variable in which I defined, which holds the value Nelson. So below here in that you could see the analysis. So that is good at making analysis for you. So in case if you have issues with your code, it's going to analyze it for you and state for you the reasons why maybe it can't compile or it's unable to run. So here right now you could see I have one single issue on line 2. So let's trace that to line 2. So on line 2 here, it says the value of the local variable name isn't used. So what that simply means right now is that we've defined the variable name, but we've not made use of it. So if you want to go ahead making use of this real quick, I'm going to say print name. Then we always end we always end any statement in that with a semicolon. So the print is a statement, we end it with semicolon. The variable in which we define here is a statement, and we also end it with a semicolon. So it's very important. You see, if I remove my semicolon, it spots an issue again, one single issue on line 4, and you could see because of the semicolon I got rid of. So let me go ahead, put in my semicolon back, and let's run this. So you could see it appears for me Nelson. So my output here is Nelson. So yeah, so but I don't want to go ahead printing the name. I want to do a lot of things. So this is the first one, and the second one, that is defining another variable. So you could go ahead defining a variable based on what you really want that variable value to contain, what you really want that variable to contain, what you want its value to be. So take for instance, now this is a string of animal. So I'm just gonna say a cat. So that is okay with this is fine. So you could see I defined a variable of type string, and the name of the variable is animal, which holds a value of cat. So that is very okay with this. So we could go ahead modifying this, and I mean changing the value in which it holds. So I could say animal this time around to be equal to dog. Dog to be equal to dog. So let's go ahead running. Okay, before I run this, let me just say print. Let's print our value. So I'm gonna say print animal. So let's run this. Let me check if I have one issue on line 2. Okay, it says that I didn't make use of this. So let's just go ahead commenting. So if you want to comment, just hold your control on Windows, hold control and forward slash. So you see I've commented this out. So only find it states it traces 3 more errors. Only find name animal. Okay, let's go ahead on commenting this. Yeah, the value of the local variable name isn't used. Okay, it says on line 2. So let's go ahead. We meant to comment line 2 and not line 4. So you see the error goes away. And let's go ahead running this. So you can see it prints for me dog. So there's something I want to explain for you guys here, but let me go ahead printing animal over here first. I'm gonna say print animal and it to semicolon, and let's run this. So now this is our result, and you could see the first output here is cat, and then the second output here is dog. So that runs its code sequentially. So by sequentially I mean from top to bottom. So from the top here, the first print statement in which it came across was print the first animal, the first variable of animal. So the first variable of animal was holding a value of cat. That's why it had to print cat firstly. And then we went ahead modifying this. That is changing the value in which the animal variable holds to be dog this time around. So and that's why the second output here says dog. So that's fine. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this as a whole. Yeah. And so what I want you guys to take note here is that you could override variables of the same type. So you could, if let me just Control Z this. So what I mean here, overriding variables of the same type, is over here now. You see animal, which holds the value of cat, and this cat is a string type. And so overriding this, I overrode this with another string type of dog. So I'm not going to be able to override this with another value type of, take for instance, I'm going to say animal equal to 1. That is going to go against this. So this is not proper. This is not right with that. So in that, you override variables of the same type. So you could see this cat is a string type, and also this dog that overrode this cat is of the same type string. So that's why it was okay with it. They both concord. So but now, whereby I want to override this animal again with an integer type value, is not proper. It's not right. So over here, for in our analysis, it says we have one issue. So it says a value of type int can't be assigned to a variable of type blah blah blah. So already what this simply means is a value of type int. You can see a value of type here on line 10, integer 1. It can't be assigned to a variable of type string. You understand? So if you want to do this, just have your animal, just make sure that your animal is of the same type with the the integer type here, which is 1. You understand? So this is not possible with that. So let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of everything. Let me get rid of everything. So let me define integer. I'm going to say int. I'm going to say value equal to 4. Yeah. So you could go ahead saying print value, but I don't know print the value right now. So I want to override this the way we did for the string variable. So I'm going to say value equal to 5. So if I go ahead say print val. So let's run this. You see it prints 5, and why it prints 5 is because the value 4 here is an integer with the value here that overrode this. So 4 is an integer and 5 is also an integer. So if I come over here and say value equal to, I'm just going to say Nelson, it's not possible. It's not going to work. You understand? So this is how we would define integer values. So I've shown you guys how to define string values, how to define integer values also. And so we have what we call type inference in that. So type inference is simply, let me give you guys a practical example, then I'm going to use practical example to explain what I mean by type inference. So I'm going to say var, I'm going to say var, then I'm going to say value equal to 10. Yep. And then I'm going to come beneath this and I'm going to say string of value. Yeah, let me just say value. I know this is typo error, but let me just leave it with double E equal to 5. So over here right now, we have the type of this as bar. So this bar infers the value of this to be whatsoever you provided here. So what we provided here as the value is an integer type. So you don't need to come here manually and say int. You understand? You don't need to come here and manually state the type int. So you could go ahead just stating the type var. So that is gonna go ahead inferring this to be a variable holding an integer type value. You understand? So that's type inference. So you could see over here, this is not type inferred. This statement here is not type inferred. So this statement here is just, it went so direct, stating the type string. So any value you provide here is that's not a string is totally wrong. You understand? It's totally unacceptable by that. So whereby you've stated the type to be string, you must make sure that the value which you provide to the variable must be a string. So if you come over here and say, let me say another name, Stanley. Stanley. You understand? It's fine. So you see, it concurs with this as a string type. So that's type inference in that. So up next, I'm gonna go ahead with string interpolation. So string interpolation is just combining of two strings, like combination of two or more strings in programming language. You understand? So let me just go ahead changing this value to, let me say, animal. Okay, no, let me say, lion. Lion. Then let me come here again and define another variable. I'm gonna say variable, or this time around, let me say string of, let me just say go equal to, I'm gonna say this is a lion. Then let's end this with our semicolon to avoid issues. So this is a lion. So right now, let me go ahead interpolating this. So I'm gonna say print. We have two ways of performing string interpolation. So I'm gonna show you guys the two ways. So firstly, the first way is by saying print go, okay, inside the brackets. So go plus val. So let's go ahead running this. So it says this is a lion. Okay, let me get rid of this lion. This was not the result I wanted to get. So let's run this. This is a lion. So you can see I need a little space between the A and the L. So I'm gonna come over here after the A and then hit my space bar for space. So I'm gonna run this. You see right now they've been spaced. So in case if you don't want to go ahead spacing it from there, you could also go ahead spacing it from here. So spacebar, then let's run this again. And you see we still get a good result. This is a line. So this is the first way of performing string interpolation. We make use of the mathematical plus or summation sign. You understand? So the second way of performing string interpolation is including the string inside another string. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm gonna say a, a wild animal, a wild animal, a wild animal lion. So when you want to include another string inside an already existing string, you're going to make use of the dollar sign, then you're going to state the name of the defined variable, which is value. So you're going to state the string. So this, as you know, this variable holds a string value of lion. So what we're trying to do here is we want to include this lion string inside this already existing string here, which says a white animal. You understand? So we can run this because we have three issues. So let's go ahead solving this undefined name lion. So on line 7, undefined name lion. Okay. It's not lion, it's val. So let's go ahead correcting ourselves. So val. Okay, see, that has gone. So the next one, it says the value of the local variable go isn't used. So in case if you don't want to use or variable defined by you, just go ahead commenting this, or better off don't define the variable at all. You understand? So let me just get rid of this as a whole, since I'm not making use of it. You understand? So I want a neat code. So as a programmer, you must always try your best to maintain a very neat and simplified code. So let me go ahead and run this. So you see, it says a white animal lion, and this is perfect. So up next, I wanna make another example, not using string but of the value type integers. So I'm gonna say 1. So let me start with 1. So you could go ahead, if you don't want this to be inferred on its own, you could say int. That is still fine with this. That knows this to be an integer value. You understand? So I'm gonna say a white animal, but okay, not a white animal. I'm gonna say the number because I want this to be making sense. You understand? So I'm not just gonna make any nonsense that comes up in my head. So I'm gonna say the number. Okay, the number 1. So let's run this. You see, the number 1. So how about right now? If I want to do something like 1 plus 2, take for instance, what I mean now is I want to do value this 1 here, then plus 2 here. Let me go ahead running this. So you see what that does? That takes this plus 2 to be a string. You understand? So I don't want this to be a string. I don't want this to be a string. I want this to sum up with the value in which I have here, 1. So when one sums up with 2, the output I expected here should have been the number 3. You understand? Number 3. So how you're going to have to solve this is by just let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this as whole. So after the dollar sign, you're going to open your curly brace. Then you're going to say val plus 2. Val plus 2. I hope I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. So run. Let's run this. So now you see the output, the number 3. So whenever you want to make use of, whenever you want to perform any mathematical operation like summation, division, minus, or whatsoever, so just make sure to enclose it inside the string. You understand? Whenever you want to perform a mathematical operation using any operator type inside the string, just make sure you enclose it after the dollar sign inside curly braces. So next up, I'm gonna discuss the Boolean operator. So for the Boolean operator, you're gonna have to define the type as bool. Then the name of the variable, I'm gonna say condition equal to true. Yeah. So for the true, make sure that this is a lowercase word, a lowercase letter. You understand? So if you say something like true, this is totally wrong and totally unacceptable by that. But you, if you say true with a lowercase letter, is fine. You understand? So we consider this as a boolean. So you could also see the error in which it detects. So it says undefined name true. You understand? It's considering this like as what do you mean? You understand? Like what's this? So if you want to do something like this, you're gonna let me get rid of this Ctrl X, then I'm gonna Ctrl V. You understand? So it understands this now as a value of type string. You understand? So this is not what I want. So what I want is I want a boolean value of type true. True. You understand? So booleans in programming languages helps us to kind of like make differences between two things. Whether if this is true, maybe let this happen, or if this is false, let this not happen. You understand? So booleans is kind of like conditionals. You understand? That's when we make use of booleans. So we make use of booleans most especially when we're using the if statements. You understand the conditional statements. So there's not much to be said about the boolean variable over here, but when we head over to using the if, I'm going to explain the boolean so well, and I'm going to dive so deep using the boolean type over here. You understand? So another thing I want you guys to take notes here is the difference in colors, the differences in the colors you could see over here. So we have, I think we have 3 colors or 4 colors here. Basically, we have the ash, we have the white, the blue, and the red. Okay, we also have this. So for this now, you could see the void is white, the int is white, and the boolean is white. That's one good thing with that part. You understand? It helps you to differentiate between keywords, string types, blah blah blah, and the rest of that. So for the void is a keyword in Dash programming language, and that's why its color appears here to be white. Likewise, the int also is a keyword, equal sign here, keyword. The boolean here is also a keyword, and likewise the dollar sign. You understand? So that's why you see them, they appear white here. So you could see inside here the number, this string type here, this string value here, the number is of type string. That's why it's colored red. You understand? So another thing I want you guys to take note also is the naming convention. So over here you could see the naming convention for this variable is just a word we started with a lowercase b. You understand? So you can start with an uppercase b. It's totally wrong by that. You understand? So you could see it still says the value. See what it says. The variable name val isn't a lower camel case. You understand? So in that you're gonna whenever you want to give a name to your variable, you're gonna have to apply the low camel case convention. You understand? So for that, you're gonna have to say something like, what I mean is val, then the next, okay, let me say something which makes sense. I'm gonna say first number. This is totally fine. You understand? But for low camel case, what I mean is number. After the first word, you understand, every other word that comes after the first word, the first letter should take the uppercase, you understand? So likewise, also now I have first number, I can say first number integer. I'm gonna say integer. So you know integer is a word on its own. So you see I started this with an uppercase letter over here. So I'm gonna say first number integer. I'm gonna say good. So you know good is also a word on its own. That's why I also started with the uppercase here. You understand? So this is how the naming convention, um the lower uppercase naming convention works. You understand? In defining variables. So next up, let's quickly perform some mathematical operations. So I'm gonna say first number one. So let me come below this and say print first number plus 5. So to expect 6. First number plus 5, run this 6. So you could say print first number divided by 5 and let's run this. So you see it gives us 0.2. So I want to show you guys another mathematical operator, modulo. So for that, let me just go ahead changing this value to 2. Then I'm gonna get rid of this. So I'm gonna say 5 modulo 5 modulo first number 5 the modulo of first number. Let's run this. It gives us the remainder of the division. So 5 divided by 2 is 2 remainder 1. So you could perform it yourself to confirm. So if you divide 5 into 2 places, it's 2 remainder 1. So the remainder is what it outputs here for us, you understand? But if you go ahead doing something like 5 divided by 2, like the way we know it in mathematics, you see, you get normal 2.5, which is true, you understand? So the modulo operator is used for getting the remainder value of an operation, you understand? So modulo 5, so we get the remainder 1. Yeah, that's it for this lesson, and hope to see you over in the next lesson.